You're listening to the Canadian Women of the Outdoors podcast, the first podcast by Canadian women for Canadian women about Canadian women. Brought to you by Revolution Armory. Join the revolution. And True North Baits, superior quality fishing tackle. See what the fuss is about. For 10% off all plastics, use code CWO10. Enjoy the episode.
Well, we started recording, so I'm gonna do my intro spiel while you're doing whatever it is you're doing. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Canadian Women of the Outdoors podcast. We are on episode 30. We made it 30. We're almost celebrating our 1-year anniversary, actually. So that's pretty exciting. We got some big announcements coming up, actually. First off, big shout out to our two sponsors. We got Revolution Armory, and we also got True North Baits. For 10% off plastics, use code CWO10. Ice fishing season's coming up. They're going to be at the Ultimate Ice Fishing Show in November, I think that is. Again, great plastics, great for ice fishing. I love them. Their Wonder Bread is mint, and I'm super excited for this. I'm like vibrating with excitement right now. We have Erik Stella from Decoy Daddy on again. And he is coming on board as a sponsor for the Canadian Women of the Outdoors podcast. So welcome, Erik.
Thank you. Yeah, we're super
I guess welcome back. So I was gonna do my daddy's back thing, but I just got too excited for that. For those that have seen Austin Powers and know that. And again, for those that don't know, Erik and I go back to high school together. Kind of funny how we went to high school together in good old Burlington, went separate ways, and then kind of re-engaged each other at the Toronto Sportsman Show. And then sat there chatting for hours.
Wow.
Wow. It was quite a bit. And it was kind of like one of those, like, I know you, you know me, like, you look familiar, but it's been like, what, 10 years since high school?
It's been more than that.
I was going to say, I think you're younger than me too, so.
Yeah, it's been 14 for me. I was 2010.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, I just aged myself. Yikes. 2009, good Lord. Oh, God. It's a long time ago. But anyway, I'm super excited to have you on board. Now, the one thing that I've appreciated with you is what we talked about at the Sportsman Show, whereas you didn't want to do any kind of brand ambassadors or anything like that until people shot over your products, which I have now done and can confirm they kill geese. And also,
well, they don't. The guns do, but
the guns
they
kill geese.
But they get them close enough. enough.
Yeah, they bring in the geese and they entice them to come in, and also your hook, which is my favorite thing. I will never say enough good things about the hook.
I love it. We've had a lot of good feedback about it. It's exciting to, like, when we go out and we get to use it, and every time I do, I just laugh because I'm like, it's such a funny thing, I guess, and how it came about and stuff. So it's cool to see people like it, and like people are enjoying it, they're using it, and they're using it with our brand, with our decoys, with other decoys, other brands and manufacturers, and it doesn't bother me. I love seeing it. It's cool to see it out there.
Well, and like when I was hunting on early goose season there, like when I brought the hook out, the guys I was hunting with were like, what's that? And I was like, it's just pop on like a ton of decoys at once. And they're like, oh my God. I was like, yeah, I'm not walking around like a mummy carrying like all these friggin' silhouettes.
Yeah. It's the worst. It's the worst.
Well, and then if you trip and fall, because if you're like me and you trip over a corn stalk like 9 times out of 10, and then the decoys go flying, and that hook is that been one of your bigger sellers?
We've sold quite a few, especially with we noticed, like, when we did the $750 pack for 5 dozen a bag and a hook.
Yeah.
I mean, we sold quite a few of those, so that went well. So we see them out there, and we haven't sold many. We've sold a handful, maybe 10, 15, I guess, of just the hook going out. But mostly it's when they're buying decoys and stuff. I'd say in totality, maybe we've sold 150, 200, give or take. We should probably reorder.
People are missing out. Like, again, if you hunt over silhouettes primarily, like, you need that hook. For
Yeah,
those that
and
don't,
I find a lot of times too, a lot of like older guys that are hunting, they don't like they're like, I'm done. A million times we talked to them, they're like, I'm done carrying out full bodies. I'm not doing it anymore. So they like the silhouettes for that reason. And when I show them the hooks at some of these shows I've done, these little pop up shows I've done, they're like, oh, that makes sense, and they'll grab one or two. And I've had one guy came in the last show I did, he bought 4 for his group of buddies, right? So that was cool to see too, and people get behind it and they see the value in it. It's cool to see.
now you've only been you're just about a year in now, right? Just
Yeah,
about,
just over. Yeah, just over.
How many pop-up shows? Because I know the sportsman show you did. You're doing the sportsman show again this year, right?
Doing the sportsman show again. Yeah, we're in the refuge,
Yeah.
which we're super excited about. I think this year is going to be a bigger year for us. Hopefully,
Oh yeah.
we're going to be bringing in. We'll be showing off all of our product, and last year was super early for us, and I was not expecting to go there, and I was, kind of overwhelmed with, okay, we're in it, let's go. So we had to do all the pre-order stuff. Now we have stock. So it's going to be, the booth is going to look quite a bit different. We've got a little bit of a different trade show display setup. That's
You've got a bigger booth this year, right? You're going with a bigger booth, yeah.
20, and I'm super excited to see people from last year again, and the people that I've met over the last year, which will be really cool, and to meet some more people and see where the market's going and how people are enjoying the decoys, and how people are are there more people that are going to be more engaged with the refuge, hopefully. I think we had a great turnout last year, but I think this year I think it's going to be a pretty busy spot for sure.
Well, and you've also done a lot of what you said, the pop-up shops. Like, you were in Milton a couple weeks ago, and you've been to East Hill and stuff like that.
We did the East Hill Outdoors thing, which was awesome. The guys there, they were fantastic. They they invited us out, and we got there. It wasn't as busy that day as it was the previous couple days. It was kind of odd timing because that was the weekend that we were away up in Quebec with Mark at Go Hunt Birds. So that was
a lot of driving for you.
A lot of driving. That was like, I left like Thursday morning. Me and the boys left at like 9:00 from Hamilton. We drove out to East Hill just to pop in, and like with 600 people in line at, I don't know, it was like 9:00 just before they opened. It was like 9:30ish, I think, when we got there, and it was loaded. We got in the store, walked around, said hi to Ian and the guys, and then we left and we had to keep going. So we went to Mark's house, and then we had a fantastic weekend with him. That was wicked. And the guys stayed that night. The Friday morning shoot I did, and then I jet back from basically Quebec to East Hill Outdoors. I did that thing there for 5-6 hours, whatever it was, and then I went back to Quebec. We shot in the evening, and then the next morning, and then we left.
Oh my God.
100 kilometers on the truck, but it was well worth it. It was good to just to see the guys at East Hill, go in that store and see like the energy that they have, and like their knowledge, and their product offerings is absolutely massive. It was a good weekend. It was a really good weekend.
So, well, exactly. So now with that kind of stuff, are you looking at putting your stuff into stores and like, or is it still just strictly online?
Right now it's still online. We're still working with a couple of guys, like East Hill included. We're trying to make sure that the products that we get, the products that where we're going to sell them, I should say, like the retailer's location makes sense, because I said this before, we want to keep it direct to consumers as long as possible, and without adding all these different steps and all these costs attributed to that. But what we're finding is shipping is diabolical. Like, I can't, it is such a pain. It's a lot to manage. And a lot of guys, there's still a lot of people that want to just go to the store. And I'm one of those guys. I want to go to the store and pick up what I need, and I want to leave with it. I don't really buy, I don't buy a lot of like my hunting stuff or fishing stuff online. I go to the store and I buy it because I want to see it. I want to feel it. I want to, I'm that guy. So we see a value in that and having that. With that being said, I'm not going to have a guy in my backyard. You know what I mean? doing it. So East Hill, for instance, is a really good location, and we're excited to do something with them. And we're also looking in some other provinces. Because shipping to certain areas is very difficult. Like, right now we're trying to ship something up to like Thunder Bay area, and it is like impossible. It's been, the package gets sent back 3-4 times because when a package moves like that far and they get to these rural areas, UPS they don't have a spot up there to do it. So they like, it gets passed down to like third, fourth, fifth party carriers. And by that time, it's like it's in the guy's back of his Yaris, dropping it off at your house, and they can't find the address, and they just bring it back to the thing, and it takes 2 weeks, and I don't have an answer. Customers don't have the product, and I'm freaking out. So we are looking at some brick and mortar locations to get into. I think it's too early to say 100% where that's going to be, but we are working on it, and we're taking feedback too. So if people have places that, I always go to this spot, they've been good to me. I went there, my dad went there, we've been there for 50 years. We're happy to hear them and talk to them and see if they're interested in carrying our stuff. For sure.
And the last time we talked, I had you on, I think in April. That beautiful bag that's behind you, you were just in the middle of prototyping that, I think. You didn't have any ready.
Yeah.
And
so we had our prototype bag, you're correct. We had these buckles never changed. What did change is on the side we have these buckles, but they're smaller. And the other ones, the prototype bags, didn't have metal. These ones weren't metal, but now these are all metal, and everything that can break is metal. So it won't, most likely, unless you really do something. But yeah, this is how they turned out. This is the final product. We're really happy with them. We do find that when you have fully flocked decoys, 5 dozen gets a little tight, get crowded in there. So we are looking at changing the dimensions of the bag just a wee bit, just to allow a little bit more space, because you don't want people putting them in and then the flocking, especially the flocked ones, but coming apart when you're trying to squeeze them in there, right? We're all pretty bad for, I know we are, for just fill the bag.
Yeah.
There's a risk to the, potentially, adding more air to the decoys than necessary, and then you're gonna get less life out of them. So we're trying to create some sustainable products that will last a little bit longer for guys, and I think we're doing a good job.
Again, I have a bag, and I've put it through blood, water, like I've beat the living hell out of it so far. So definitely it's an incredible quality bag. Those buckles are, sometimes I struggle to get them open. I'm like, oh my God, like it's just because they're so heavy duty.
I think what guys don't realize is that if they get wet or if they get muddy, this clip here is very easy to just wipe with a gloved hand, versus the other ones where if you get stuff in the clip, you have to blow it out. Right? And then you're just launching. If it's wet, sticky mud, like you're just gonna jam it in there. Oh, whatever, I'll deal with it at the truck. So we're really happy with how that's turned out, for sure.
Usually my hands are just too damn cold and I can't make them work. It's really
that's a whole other. At least you'll be able to open it up.
Those. So, and again, you've got more decoys out now. You've got the fully flocked, and you've branched out into ducks. I've noticed. I've seen that you've got those new ducks coming out, the black ducks.
Yeah, we got our black ducks out. They're on the website now.
Yeah. Do you have stock of those, or? So what all do you have? What all do you have?
So the whole lineup right now. So ducks is we have mallards. We got black ducks. And then they're both available in flocked and fully flocked and non-flocked. And then we have the geese, non-flocked or flocked head, and then fully flocked. Then we have our hats, we have the hook and the bag.
And there's some other stuff. Are we allowed to talk about some of the other stuff that you've sent to me about branching out into? Yes. Are we allowed to talk about that? The sweaters, those hoodies are awesome. So with the arms that are like these patterns.
And then we're working on those right now. We're trying to get the right sweater weight. I've got a couple, like I said, a lot of the things, like I'm making these products based off of what I like it. My buddies like it, and like just market intel, right? Nobody wants a sweater that shrinks after it goes in the dryer, right? So we're making sure that that's not going to be a problem. We want a good like medium weight where you can wear a shirt underneath, be good, and you can throw a jacket over top and not be cooking kind of deal. So there's kind of that I didn't realize this. Like I'm not in textiles. I sell drywall. So to get into this whole world of fabrics is not my forte. So I'm learning a ton about fabrics and different weights of fabric and the different blends and stuff. And we're looking for something that's going to be hydrophobic. So it, when you get wet, it doesn't soak through. It'll be fun. It'll look cool, and it'll be a good quality sweater.
Well, those pictures you sent me, they look sick. Like they actually look. I love that the arms are like this pattern up here. Like that was I immediately I was like, yep, sign me up. I want one. Put me down for all of them.
I think they'll turn out nice. So I haven't finished I haven't got to the point where I'm like, okay, let's make 20 of them.
Yeah.
And they turned out. So once I get there, it might not even be this season with how slow some of this stuff goes with trying to get it right the first time. Because once you can say, okay, do this. And then I get it. I'm like, I don't like it. And then, there's costs every time.
Oh, yeah.
If we alleviate those costs and just try and get it right or close to right the first time, then we're in a better spot for sure.
And then you're also working on your gun bag.
We are. Oh, do I have that here?
Oh,
it's in my truck, or it's in the car.
That was a beauty.
Bags look sweet. We're still, so I'm working on some sizes. The size that we did initially didn't fit the gun how I wanted it to, like how I want the gun to sit in the bag. It didn't work. So we're changing some sizes there. We're changing, zippers are good. They're all waterproof, 100% waterproof. The zipper pulls are like those nice big T zippers, right? So when you grab them with your gloved hand, you're not grabbing the tiny little rinky dink.
Oh yeah.
And then we've got some little, what is it, like a little pouch inside for you can either put shells in there or your chokes. So if your gun bag's sitting in front of you and you're blind, or if you're in a layout and it's laying beside you, all your stuff's going to be, you can basically have a handful of shells or your box of shells in there, and then you can have your chokes to choose from. What I've realized this year is I am so indecisive when I'm shooting. I always change my chokes.
Really?
Always. I don't know why I do it. It's like a disease.
Really?
But I'll be shooting like an improved modified, and I'll shoot it for a couple volleys, and I'll miss, and it's probably because I'm garbage. But then I'll just change the choke, okay? And I'm like, oh, I think they're too far, and I'll put in my pattern master, right? Put it in, take a couple volleys. If I hit a couple birds, okay, great, I'll keep that. And then I'll miss again, and I'll be like, oh, no, they were too close, and I'll put the improved in, or like whatever. And it's I don't know. Oh
my God. I've never heard of somebody switching chokes in the middle of a hunt.
On the fly all the time. I don't know why.
You're the first person I've ever heard of doing that.
Yeah, probably your last. Yeah. If there's more of you guys out, make a comment. Tag a friend.
I was gonna say, tag a friend. If he's not the only one, he needs friends that are the ones that. Oh my God, like that's. I just shoot modified, and I mean I hit birds, so.
Yeah. See, there you go. Maybe I just gotta change it to modified, and I'll leave it.
Well, I mean, it may also depend on your ammo too, which is. Something
I've been flip flopping too. So I haven't taken the time. I've been pretty busy, so to take the time to go and sit in the field with a couple different boxes I'm going to typically shoot and figure it out. I just haven't done it yet.
What gun do you shoot?
I have a Benelli SBE 3 right now, which everybody knows it shoots high. Shoots high and left is kind of the story there, but. Sometimes it hits. Sometimes it's all me. I know it's me, so it's like whatever.
I mean, I don't know. I saw birds on the ground when you were with Mark up there. So
but we did.
Maybe you didn't hit those. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
Maybe the other.
That's why I don't wear a GoPro anymore. There's too much evidence then.
There's too much evidence. Oh my God.
I don't want that. But yeah.
That's awesome. That's too funny. Yeah. I'm still blown away by the fact that you actually changed chokes in the middle of the hunt. But
Yeah.
anyway, back to the bag. Yeah, you sent me the picture of the bag and it looks awesome. Like,
Yeah.
and I like that you're like actually taking the time to like make sure it's the product that you want, not just like, oh, here's a bag, here you go. Like, it's you're not just kind of willy-nilly like, oh, we've got something with our name on it. Here.
Exactly.
Like,
And we're not
it's
copy
not.
pasting either. I haven't gone and just been like, oh, this brand has a nice bag, put our logo on this bag. It's not that at all, which I like that, because every item that I have here, I could say, like, I could tell anybody this is the input that we had, and this is, some feedback that we got, and this is why we changed this aspect of it. And I think people appreciate that, because if guys comment and they send me a message like, oh, hey, whatever, I can immediately be like, oh, that's a good idea. And I can go and make that note to go, okay, next production run or next time or right now when we're not producing anything, I can go back and say, hey, let's try this. Right. So, we changed the adhesive. We did change the adhesive on from our first order of decoys, if you will, which was good. We had some of the stickers like delaminating coming off. Some of it was, we're not really sure kind of what caused all of it. Some of it was heat. When it got warm, it would just start to come off. So we changed the adhesive, and we have like a different base for that, and it seems to be much better. So
How many sets then of decoys have you like gone through to get like to what you're selling now? Like what's the process like for that? Like,
the process is painstaking. From our initial decoy that we started looking at, and then to where we produced our first batch, was probably 5 or 6 revisions. Like, and that's like me saying, okay, let's do this, get the new one in. 3 weeks later, okay, no, let's do this. A month later, like, it takes a lot of time to do that. Since we've launched the version 2s with like the feathered butt detail there, we haven't changed anything. Ducks has been a lot on the ducks. Ducks are very detail oriented. The goose images are much easier to change slightly without having having a decent enough impact, but not an impact enough on the production side that it slows a lot of things down. The ducks is very different. The ducks, I probably have 50 ducks here somewhere in the garage as we made those changes. And if I was to look at, like, I can look at one and be like, oh, that was very early on in the process, and that was close to the end, and here's our final product. You can see the differences. And yeah.
so is it just differences on like their color, the feathers, like the detail on it, or
positioning? The sizing is huge too. People think, oh, it's just, what size is it? So getting the size right is important too. So we had some revisions on that. We had revisions on like the colors that were used, and what else did we change? The beaks. We changed the colors of the beaks. Like, we wanted to make it look like, so whether the decoy's wet or not changes kind of the appearance, at least to us, of the decoy, like, early on. So now we've made some revisions and we've changed those. And just by changing color hues, you can mitigate those, which is kind of neat to see. We've done some reflection tests as well, and we've got a really nice low reflection right now.
Well, yeah, because that's a huge thing. Like, if the sun's shining on it, you don't want it to be super bright to the
there's
gaze,
a couple things that go into that as well. It's a little bit of a process, but yeah, the ducks have been a longer haul. That's why it took so long for the black ducks to get out, because black ducks have that, like, the decoys have. I think I have an early revision right here. Hang on. Here you can tell. Here, look at this. This is crazy. So here's like an early one. You can see how it's kind of like whitewashed. Like, it kind of looks kind of faded, and like that blue, right?
Yeah.
Versus.
Holy shit! What a difference.
Right. So that took
Holy.
time to get that right, and like just the way like much better detail on the feathers and stuff. Where this is just not. It's just not right. Could I have launched that? I probably could have launched that, but I feel like somebody would have looked at me like, "Nah, that ain't right." So this one is a different story. Super happy with that. So.
Oh yeah, like that looks mint. Like it's absolutely amazing. Like the care that you put into getting your decoys like right, like what you want them to.
We're in it pretty far, and it's too late to go and say, never mind, that was a cool trip, right? So we're trying to do it right. If you do it right, there's a lot of good things that will come of it, and that's what we're finding with it. So it's working.
And I mean, like you've built up a big following in the last year. Like you had Luke Scherters, you had like Luke Scherters, who's one of the like best waterfowl hunters in Ontario, if not Canada. He bought how many? Like
he was 30 dozen geese, and I think he's got 12 bags. He got a bunch of mallards, and he's got some black ducks coming as well, which is huge. And we've had people reach out. And say, it was wicked, and it was kind of like I talked to Luke a while ago about it, and like before we were what we are today. I mean, we're not much it is, but we spoke a little bit, and he was, I don't know. And then I think as he saw some stuff, he liked what he'd seen, and he took a chance on us. And he sends me his stories all the time. He tags us in all his stories, and the guy's on birds.
Oh, right? And I've
had people message me and say, can I get a box, or like, can I get like half a box at a discount, and I can see if they, if I can kill birds over them. And I just send them one of Luke's videos and go, they work. As long as your gun shoots, you have a chance. Like, it won't be, if you're not shooting birds, it won't be because of our decoys. Yeah, that's for sure.
Well, no, and that's exactly it. Like, your decoys bring the birds in. It's your responsibility actually to take the birds or not.
Yeah, you can only do so much. I can't cook them and clean them. So
yeah, exactly. And I mean, I've seen Scherters videos and pictures and stuff like that. He's shooting birds, and I mean, again, I've shot birds over them. So
yeah.
And you also had you've had another guide service, haven't you? Or was it just Luke's?
Yeah. So Robert Outlaw, he's shooting over our stuff. Sometimes he runs full bodies when the fields permit, whatever, but he runs a lot of our decoys as well. He's killing lots of birds. he's on top of them. We've got some guys out east as well. We got some guys in, I think they're in Nova Scotia. They'll kill me if they see this, and I don't remember where they live. They're in Nova Scotia. And we've got a couple guys out west as well. But we're working on getting our name out there and getting in front of some of these guys to introduce ourselves and show the products. And, when it's time to reorder, like, I'm not saying, flip everything upside down right now, but when it's time to reorder, I think we'll have some more guys as well.
Well, and do you have, aside from the Sportsman Show, do you have any other little pop-up shops or anything coming up, or?
No, so we're having our third baby here in early December. So I won't be doing anything until March. We were supposed to have that, what's it called? The Bradford Greenhouse show, and then it got canceled. There was some conflict, I guess, on their end. So that show got postponed until March of 2025. That's going to be a hard sell. But right now we've committed to it. So we're going to do what we need to do to be there, but that'll be tricky because it's a week.
I was going to say that's
after the Sportsman Show.
Yeah. And you're going to probably be cleaning house at the Sportsman Show.
Sportsman Show is going to kill me. It's going to take a lot out of me. Just organizing product. It's not even just standing there for 29 hours a day, I swear. It's 4 days consecutively, but then it's the week before all the prep to make sure everything's in order and ready to get there in as few trips as possible. And then it's the dismantle and bring back whatever we have. And then it's going to be all the paperwork behind it. So it's going to be taxing for sure. But
because you're going to sell stuff there, right? Like, you're going to have boxes and bags and everything to sell, right?
Like last year, what I did is I loaded up my truck I don't think I used a trailer. No, I didn't use a trailer. I just loaded up my truck. I think I took 3 trips from Hamilton to Toronto, like back and forth 3 times. By the time I got all the decoys in there, the tables, and I didn't have to bring any chairs, but like the tables, the cloth, just everything else that was there was a lot. And then this year, I think I'll be shipping. I'll probably ship skids of product instead.
Just right to there?
Yeah. It's probably going to be simpler. So we'll see. It's a growing machine, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah. I mean, the refuge is in a different spot this year, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, I haven't seen the final layout. I know early on they were talking about moving it to be, I think it was going to be closer to the dogs. I'm not sure.
Which I mean would make the most sense if you're doing waterfowl and then the dog trials and everything.
Yeah. So
that's
I think that's what they're saying, but I mean, who knows? There's a lot of planning that goes into that as well that I'm sure I couldn't figure out. So
you just show up with all your stuff and you're like, "Yep, I'm here.
Tell me where to go. I'll be figure it out."
Sell decoys, yeah. That's awesome though, man. It's crazy to see honestly how far you've come, even just from March to now.
Yeah,
like when I first started following you on Instagram and socials and stuff like that, I think you only had like 400 or 500 followers. You've now you're over 1,000. I've seen you at shows. I've seen like my friends, people I follow on Facebook and Instagram, posting your stuff, and I'm like, hey, I know him. Like my friends and stuff like that have bought like your hook, and they're like they ask me like, hey, like Decoy Daddy, like what's he about? And I'm like, yeah, let me tell you all about him. Sit down, let's go. I'll tell you all about Erik. Like
exactly. Yeah,
it's just awesome to see, especially because like again, like you're Canadian, like there's not a whole hell of a lot of silhouette options in Canada for an okay price. Like we all know when we get into waterfowl hunting, that shit's expensive.
Yeah, and everybody goes to buy hard bodies, right? And hard bodies are, if you want to get into waterfowl, it's one of those things where when you're getting into waterfowl, silhouettes you're immediately in the game, if you will, right? You can, obviously like any hobby has a cost attached to it. I feel like we provided an option, there's a good option for people to enter into waterfowling, not get completely wasted away on and only being able to have 6 decoys, right? When you start talking about some of these hard bodies, and get a good quality product that at least puts birds in front of them, and then the rest is up to you, right? So it's been cool to grow, and just talking to guys online and like people that have reached out to me and you want to know more. I had a guy randomly call me the other day, and he's just like, I haven't heard of you. He sent me a message on Instagram saying, is there a phone number that I could speak to you? And I was like, here we go, right? What's this going to be?
Yeah.
And never know. And the guy was like, I hadn't heard of you before. Like, what are you about? And we talked for 10 minutes, and 3 hours later, he placed an order. So it was cool to see that, like, it meant something to him being able to call me in the middle of I think it was Tuesday or Monday, and just talk, right? So I don't know how many companies you can do that with. So
well, and that's exactly it. Like you're approachable too. Like you are very easily approachable. It's very easy to go talk to you, and like
I appreciate it.
It's even like when Caitlin came up to you at the Sportsman show, and then she messaged me. She's like, Nicole, you got to get over here, like immediately. And I was like, oh, wait a second, like, but she had easily struck up a conversation with you, like it was nothing. So it's nice to have in Canada, in Ontario, local, and I'm a huge supporter of Canadian local businesses. Like we need more of that stuff. We need more of calls, we need more of clothing, like all the hunting stuff. We need more local stuff.
That's good. There's a lot of guys out there that are doing like the clothing brands like Northern Mallard. We're doing something with them as well. We're doing a kind of a joint giveaway, which is going to be fun, and that should be launching pretty soon. And
I think I saw that.
It hasn't been officially launched yet. He's working. We sent some product up there to do it, and he's going to take some photos and videos, whatever. But that'll be fun. There's a lot of guys. I think there's being able to be part of this community and it is a tight-knit community. It's not a very big community. When you think about it, right, the duck stamps, I think, was 125,000 stamps last year. I'm curious what the number will be this year.
Yeah.
If it's grown or declined. It's a small community, so engagement is huge. And I try to have a lot of conversations with guys online and speak to people and speak to them like I've known you for 100 years. Like, I've been invited on some hunts. I've been very fortunate. A lot of people have reached out and offered, come up with a hunt with us, whatever. And we're, and I haven't been able to line it up. Like it's been busy. Like I have 2 other jobs on top of this.
Yeah.
So it's been very difficult to get out. Even myself, like I've only been out half a dozen times this year.
Yeah. Now, eventually,
rookie
eventually, are you wanting to hopefully like turn this into a full-time business? If it
it takes off, absolutely, yeah, we could definitely do it. But it's also one of those things. It's a fun hobby and it's supplementary for us.
And you're just passionate about it.
Yeah, and I don't want to lose my passion because I have to deal with the day-to-day business, and like that will really probably suck the life out of me a little bit. You get that with a lot of these guys. Like I think Final Approach, actually, they were on with Damien not too long ago, like Punisher, and he goes, it's hard because you dive so much into the business and sometimes you don't have time. You truly don't have time to go sit in the field for 6 hours. So it's a lot. It's a lot of work, and to carve it out. And I don't want to lose that ability. And this year's a little bit different because of the impending baby number 3 here. So
I was going to say the child.
every day that I get out, I'm super thankful that my wife can keep this place running while I'm out. So,
good for her. You got a good woman there.
No doubt. She's on it right now, so she's ready for this 3rd baby to come. We're about a month, probably about a month before it comes, and then we're all hands on deck. I will not be hunting here. I have a feeling I won't be hunting much.
Well, I mean, at least if it's like December, it's like the cold, gross weather, and it's not like.
And I don't really cold weather. I don't like the gross days, and I've done them.
Well, it's the best time for divers, right? The gross,
it is.
disgusting.
It's a great time for everything, but I have like PTSD from one hunt that I went, and it was like minus 35, and we went up to Wallet Marsh, and Jamie's he's just a hardworking guy. He's like, no, we're gonna take the canoe, and we had to chip through 3 inches of ice. I don't even know why we had the canoe. I walked the entire way.
I was gonna say you might as well just walk at that point.
We got into like a little spot, like the stake we were gonna go, and we had to chip out all the ice, and then everything flew 10 miles above us, and we didn't shoot a single bird, and we spent 7 hours. It was just terrible. But one of those days, it was one of those hunts that was probably one of my favorite hunts. We had some good laughs, and it was and that's what it's about. So
you just froze your ass off.
Yeah.
Oh, that's too good. Anyway, we're hitting about our time here. So again, I want to thank you for coming on. I'm really excited to see where this is going with you and what the next year is going to bring. I'm super pumped to see how the Sportsman Show goes for you.
Thank you.
Bigger, better, harder, faster, stronger, whatever that song is. It's I just see very big things for you in the future. Because again, your product is awesome. You put so much work into your product. And I can say that knowing like what you and I talk about behind the scenes and what you've texted me and what you've sent me pictures of. Like, I know that you put so much thought and effort into these products. Like, this isn't just a willy-nilly like, oh, here's a picture of a duck.
We're not winging it. This is our thing. This is our, you haven't seen it too close, but that's our new limited edition hat. So they're all hydrophobic, super nice hats.
I'll be getting one of those.
Yeah, we'll get you one of these for sure.
Yeah. First. Yeah. And I'm super pumped to bring you on as a sponsor. For those listeners, we will be working out a code at some point.
Yeah.
So the listeners can get a discount. So we'll be working out that. So stay tuned for that. I'm really excited to see where this is going to go. Again, I've been all up in your corner since we had that conversation at the Sportsman Show. And again, like, I just thought it was super awesome how you were not like, we need brand ambassadors, like we need this. You're like, nope, I'm not doing any of that until people test our products.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't want to like just be that kind of person until people had actually like used it. Like, because what you said, what's the point of promoting it if you never actually used it? And that was something I totally respected from you. Like, just that's just so awesome. Like, you stand behind your product.
Yeah, and we've got
like,
guys are ordering, and we're seeing the same names a couple of times now. So people are, they're buying geese, and then they're buying ducks, and then they're buying a bag. So they're getting product and they like it, and you know what I mean. And things are going. Every once in a while, I get a message, guys. Hey, I just received my package today. These things look phenomenal, and that's I got one today. So I was pretty excited about that. Those are my favorite to get because it just gives that a little kick in the ass. Okay, we're doing it right. So it's nice. And fantastic. Having you guys behind us, like, encouraging us, has been huge, and I love what you guys are doing. And I'm super happy to do this sponsorship with you and grow it. Let's do it together.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, I'm so pumped. Like, I can't wait to see like the gun bags that are all coming out, the new hoodies. Like, I can't wait for all that stuff to come out. Like, it's just, I can't wait to see you grow. I'm so pumped. I'm so happy, especially because you're a local boy. Like, you're B-Town.
Here we go.
Yeah, like, you're just like me. Yeah, B-Town, Robinson. Like, it's just, and I just love that. I love that it's kind of just awesome that we went full circle here. Now we're all reconnecting, and we still need to share a blind together. We haven't done that yet, so we need to get on that. Yeah, maybe this year, maybe next year. Who knows? With baby number 3, I don't want to push my luck on that one.
Oh boy, yeah.
I know you got your hands full on that one, but maybe eventually the kids can share a blind. There's Tiny Goose Apparel, that other awesome Canadian brand that
fantastic.
I had her on.
Yeah.
Gee, we just got a sweater for the kids and stuff like that. It's great apparel for like kids.
Oh, really good quality stuff too, and I love their pattern. They spent a lot of time, like, I'm sure you talked about this, they spent a lot of time like getting their camo pattern what they wanted, and the utmost respect for that, because that's a ton of work.
Oh, absolutely. And like, it's like, you look at stuff like at the Bass Pro stuff, like, yeah, Bass Pro has camo, but that's more like lifestyle. That's not warm or anything for the kids. That's just like, here, throw some kids in camo. Like, but this stuff is actually like warm and like built for hunting, which is awesome. They were in the refuge last year too, and I think they were pretty busy as well.
Yeah, they were moving. They had a busy booth for sure.
Again, it's so nice to just see all these local Ontario up and coming companies. Like, we don't need the States anymore. We don't need to import, and like,
we can do it.
Hell at the end of the day. Absolutely. Absolutely. Anyway, I'm gonna let you go. Go get baby number 3's nursery and all the good fun stuff ready. But again, thank you so much for coming on. Listeners, stay tuned for a code that we're gonna come up with that you guys will get some percentages off of the Decoy Daddy's merch and product and stuff. So stay tuned for that. Erik, I'm so excited. Thank you so much. And I'll probably be texting you in the next day or so.
Sounds good. I'll talk to you.
Thanks, buddy. Bye.
Yeah.